Hey y'all, it's Matt, James, Roy, and Sebastian, Team United here, going through the 22 season, reviewing all of the 40 songs that are in the running. We're making up a lot of ground. Basically, what we're doing is we're listening to the songs. Well, we've done that before, you've done it as well. Then share our thoughts, and then at the very end, the score, then see where Team United puts it overall. And ultimately, we have a winner. And then, I guess, plenty of non-winners at the end. Next up on our list is Switzerland. Marius Bear is going to represent the country with the songs Boys Do Cry. And according to Bear, the song is about the fact that all people feel pain, including men. And it speaks that people should not ignore feelings and that people should encourage others to do so. So, did that message come across, and does the song come together in the end? That is the question. Can Switzerland follow these very good results over the past few years? Let's talk this through. Sebastian, what are your thoughts?
Jumping on the platform of Gion's tears, it's terribly tough job to do, because he brings to Eurovision lots of value, his unique voice, charisma, and lots of goods. So I believe that Marius right now is having a fun of his life still to make sure Switzerland can continue very good trend. And from my individual perspective, it's really, really good entry. I get the message. I believe that what he's doing with this Eurovision rendition of the Wonderful World, it makes a lot of sense. And with one of the uniqueness of this song is also the fact that the song don't need to lots of vocal changes going through the mountains. It's really well-structured entry. And I believe that it's gonna be very helpful for him, because after rehearsals, after doing this on semi-final, he can be much more charismatic, much more powerful than can be on the verge of the different artists who are doing the same duty the same night. So at the end of the day, beautiful video, great song, touched my heart. So Switzerland for me done very, very good job.
Okay, it's thumbs up from Sebastian. Roy, what are you thinking?
Yeah, it's a bit of I think under the radar kind of ballad this year. Not a lot of people are really picking up on it, and not necessarily me either when we had to send in these scores. But recently it's really kind of caught up to me, and I really start to appreciate the song a lot more. And we've had songs in the past, like, for example, Ireland in 2018, that did really well with also a very under-the-radar ballad that nobody had on their radar. It's just the way that he sings it that is really good as well. We've seen, like, one live performance in the home concert, and his vocals were just completely perfect, I would say. And if they can really stage it well, if they can really focus in on him and him telling the story and just have a nice little soft staging, I think that this could really surprise a few people, and that this could really sneak through to the final and maybe even do well there as well. So yeah, Switzerland, I think you're having a decent song again this year.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm always this close to breaking into Silent Night or Jingle Bells when this comes on. I mean, come on, this song just gives me such Christmas vibes. And it's not a bad thing. It just it's so cozy. The song, it's just like, oh, yeah, and nostalgic. It just has a really nice feel. And I agree with what Roy is saying. Don't count out Switzerland, my friends. It's you hear me about that, but yes, it's not a banger. It's very, very not in effect. It's quiet. It's almost silent. And it's not a try hard, and it's just an emotion that Marius makes you feel warm and fuzzy on the inside. Yes, and get those, as I said, melancholic juices flowing, just all of that stuff. And it's absolutely working for me. It was interesting. I don't want to spoil some of the other videos we've done. We did a qualification videos for the semis, and I initially had Switzerland as a non-qualifier, and I think it was the biggest mistake of my life that I have ever done, except maybe eating 2 brownies back to back at a Dutch coffee shop once, thinking they would stop working. And then I should have waited. That was my biggest mistake. But this was my second biggest mistake, not putting it as a qualifier, because this is certainly, again, I think the 2018 comparison to Ireland is not a bad one. And so, yeah, I'm here for it. I'm absolutely here for it. James.
So I grew up in apartheid era South Africa in a rough school in the back arse of Pretoria. And so anytime boys bigger than you picked on you, the teachers say, shut up, fight back. So when you invariably do fight back, hit them, break their nose, and then the teacher goes and says, "What you do that for, you violent bastard?" Here, Marius Bear shows you another way to deal with these sort of conflicts. And I wish this more non-violent message would be shown, so you don't come out with like perpetual cycles of violence amongst kids, like 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 people like myself had to deal with. So I do appreciate this for that tender message, and also the package too. You say Silent Night, you say a Wonderful World. I think it's kind of like the Muppet movies Rainbow Connection, but a bit more melancholic. So I really do like and appreciate this song, and I think this could be a dark horse and a televote winner amongst people who are above 40. Because I think it'll harken back. Oh, I wish this approach was done in my childhood.
I just love what you just said, James. I totally see that comparison to Rainbow Connection. Was one of my favorite songs of all time, music scores. So I'm like, that's why I'm gravitating towards it. Love it. Anyways, let's talk about our scores here and see. It sounds like Switzerland may be in for a treat, but let's see. Sebastian, what did you give it?
I'm so worried that it's gonna be the repeat story of Amen from Vincent Bueno from last year, but hopefully it won't go that low, and it's gonna be much more better. So I love it. Everything what was said here, it's really touching me, and hopefully it's gonna melt a few hearts. So from me, 9.
9 points. Darn. Right.
Yeah, like I said, when I had to handle these scores, it didn't necessarily click as much at the moment. Right now, I would probably give it like an 8 or something like that. Back then, I listened to it and still thought it was decent, and I gave it a 7.
It's still good. And I kind of fall in there as well. Actually, same for me. So this is a grower, but that's one of the reasons why we want to have more like first impressions with our scores as well, because it's not always fair. So I probably would give it more now, but I instantly liked it very, very much. So 8 points from me. So 7, 8, 9. James, what you give it?
So if you'd have asked me now, I'd be with Sebastian in a 9, because it also grew on me a bit too. But at the time of submission, I gave it a 7.5. But I would have put it in my top 10 if you'd asked me a little later as well. As you say, it's a grower.
It's a grower. Now let's see. From here, we should expect something really good. Let me bring up the overall score for Switzerland from Team United. Here we go. And as pointed out, it's not just the 4 of us. There are plenty of other ESC United folks in there as well, giving the score. We calculated, did an average, removed the highest and lowest score. And the final score for Marius Bear's Boys Do Cry is 6.00. So...
what?
Yes, James. So the 4 of us were overruled by the team overall. How dare you, team? We're going to have the very smart team. They're all fired now. So you all got to work extra hours. No, so it's seriously though. So clearly we were not too representative of the majority of the team. James, you were shocked.
Yeah, I take back what I say about the non-violence. I'm coming for people with baseball bats. This is outrageous. Come on. I know this isn't being picked up, but 6. Some of you out there are sociopaths who don't have a heart.
I was surprised myself initially because the initial reaction from Swiss entry was fairly negative, and all of a sudden people started talking about it. So I think if we were to do this right now, the actual scoring, I think it would be significantly higher. I think Switzerland fell victim to the first impression maybe, which of course at Eurovision could be an issue. Sebastian, got to talk to you because you gave it the highest score. You were probably not too pleased either, or were you expecting though that you were an outlier here?
I was expecting this. As you said before, it's a grower. So we're gonna see how it's gonna be the presentation on the stage. And if this dysfunction a little bit with our fan base gonna be repaired for the people who are watching it for the first time. I have my fingers crossed.
All right, there you have it. So once again, the four of us do not agree with the rest of the team, but that's how the cookie crumbled. 6.00 for Switzerland. Let's see where they fall all completely in our ranking. Now that we have a few ones out there, take a look. And as sad as we are, we got to move on to the next video. So see y'all soon.